Hey, what's up, everybody? Aseer the Tears once again. Hope everything is well. This is my birthday month as well as New Year. So for those of us that still follow the old ways, we almost there. 22nd is right around the corner. A lot of great stuff still happening, both on the negative and the positive. On the positive, the EFF out of South Africa just put down an edict that says that they're going to basically deal with land confiscation without compensation. What that means is that the political party of the EFF, which stands for the Economic Freedom Fighters or Economic Freedom Forum or whatever. Anyway, they're a branch of political party out of South Africa, and they're led by a guy named Malema. He just started making a lot of inroads and a lot of noise in terms of the political arenas, based upon the fact that he's steady pressing the South African government that they got to do something about they've passed now the stage of truth and reconciliation. See, what people don't understand is that Mandela was compromised very early back in the days, and then what happened was Winnie Mandela had to take over the organization, and so she had to order political hits. She had to do a lot of stuff while this dude was basically like in jail, basically getting put in the rituals. That way, when they finally let him out, he would basically become president and then use his political stance as president basically to stop the Africans or the indigenous Southern Africans from running through and destroying everything and killing all the white people who started to create, in the later days of apartheid, they started to create racial sensitive technology that would basically create things that would only target melanated people. So because they had such an oppressive regime for all of those years doing that, the white people today now, they're starting to petition Trump here to come over here as refugees, right? But now the same thing now is happening in Zimbabwe. Now that Mugabe's gone, they got the other dude in there, and there was talks that he was trying to move them further into a political situation where they would become part of the British Commonwealth again. But I heard that was torpedoed, and that's not going to happen. So thankfully he came to his senses. Also, big up Chad, the president of Chad, Idris Deby. Thank you for the response to the letter we sent and all of that. Big up to a lot of the stuff that's happening also in Cameroon. Big up to Paul Biya, as well as the French and English-speaking Cameroonians that is kind of going at each other right now because of some of the political situations going on over there. All of that is predicated to exactly what's happening here in the United States, being that your boy Trump is talking about, see, he's a Gemini, so on one hand he'll do stuff that look like it's helping people, and on the other hand he'll do stuff that look like it's destroying people. So on one hand he's talking about running up at people's house and taking their guns, but then on the other hand he's talking about putting gold back behind the dollar. So I don't know how it's gonna go for that. We'll see what happens. But what I can tell you is that a lot of the pseudo scientific stuff that's been coming out to basically big up this new erroneous notion that Africans or indigenous blacks are somehow migrating from somewhere else. All of this is coming behind this thing that this Caucasian lady from South Africa put out that basically said that the Khoisan people of South Africa basically migrated from that part to South Africa from another part of Africa. And I would say, and so in that means that they came from somewhere else. So what you're seeing right now is Caucasian people realizing that the die has been cast, that now a lot of the governments that they have lived off of, which are occupational governments, over the original indigenous people, they are now starting to get overturned. And because a lot of the land and everything is going back to indigenous rights, a lot of these illegal European occupational governments, like the occupational government of Israel, like the occupational government of the United States, like the occupational government of Britain, like the occupational government of South Africa, they're all basically being jetted. They all basically being gutted, because what's also happening is they're creating a different political system by which people are now waking up to the understanding that regardless to whether or not somebody's born here or not or whatever, you can't forcibly evict people from land that have always been in their ancestral makeup. And when you do, regardless to how long you've been on that land, when the time comes for them people to wake up and get it, you got to get off. So there's also been a big backlash. I did the Panther's answer, and there's been a big, I noticed a lot of black people having a lot of feelings about this movie. And what I'm understanding is, or what I don't understand is that why indigenous people or so-called Asiatics or so-called blacks or whatever you want to call them today, why they be so picky and choosy about what movies are supposed to mean this and that, when these are the same people who created a whole Scarface culture. Like, we all grew up on Scarface and all this other stuff that was instituted into the rap videos, in which now you had a whole generation of rappers calling themselves Italian names and acting like gangsters and all that other type of shit. And people still bought the Chronic, people still supported all of that like it was nothing. The minute something come out now where somebody is saying, I had somebody wrote me on the email and was like, yo, well, in the Wakanda movie, the Black Panther movie, the Black Panther was working with the CIA and they got rid of the original Moor that was trying to take over the throne again. But at the same token, I'm trying to do the knowledge, like, how is that not real? Like, that's exactly what's happening today. Like, you got elements of the so-called black community that's literally in bed with the government. You got elements of the conscious community that actually paid, people who are pundits, people who y'all been going to their lectures and been supporting them and all that. These niggas is getting monthly checks from this same devil to come out here and cause mass confusion amongst you, pseudo-assassinate your leaders, right? Like, how come nobody's looking into the death of Dr. Sebi? How come nobody's looking into the death of Steve Coakley? How come nobody's looking into the death of Francis Cress Welsing? How come nobody's looking into the death of Martin Luther King mother? Martin Luther King father? Y'all, as much as y'all talk about all of these black leaders and all of that. So I bring that back to the whole Wakanda thing by saying that the relationship between Killmonger and the Black Panther, to me, T'Challa, to me, was basically the relationship that any of us as indigenous peoples have when we're dealing with how we're going to project ourselves into the future with the present mind state that our people have now. Like, it's not going to happen. So I didn't really see any villains in the movie. I didn't think Killmonger was a villain at all. I thought that they basically were two sides of the same coin. Two people who were dealing with the fact that they want to see their people win. But to what extreme or to what extent are we going to go, or what element of ourselves are we going to give up? What aspects of our ego are we going to give up to be collectively together? And I don't see anybody really doing that. I don't give a fuck if it's a movie. Like, everybody was talking about how, you know, this one is in the movie, he married to a white woman, and this one married to a white woman. Like, I never seen black people look for so much problems in something that actually had them depicted in, even though it's fantastic, in a fantastic way. Like, people have been patterning themselves off of movies and have been influenced by entertainment movies forever. So why is it that when this movie come out that there's such a problem? Everybody want to say, oh, well, you know, the Jews own it and all that. Yeah, they own whatever. They own everything. So what? Y'all niggas still supporting them. Jews own Timberlands. Jews own Levi's. Y'all ain't not going to wear those, right? Y'all not going to stop wearing that, right? No, you're going to support that. So all I'm saying is, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. At least the devil know and understand that the energy has raised to such a fever pitch that he can't conceal elements of truth and indigenous culture and what Asiatics and who we really are and all that. So he got to put it out in the form of a fantastic movie, because you can't dead that energy. And let's give ourselves a round of applause, because if it wasn't for the collective energy that we in the conscious community been putting out here all of these years, none of this shit would have happened. You wouldn't have had no Obama as president. You wouldn't have had 8 years, right, to act like this man was doing something for y'all. I told them all the other day, I said, y'all niggas is beefing about T'Challa, but y'all had a cartoon character as a president for the past 8 years. This nigga ain't do nothing for y'all. Name one thing that this man did for black people other than help establish a slave trade in Libya? Really? I'll wait. You know what I'm saying? Because there is nothing. He didn't do anything other than inspire people to be greater, which is exactly what the movie did. I've been reading the Black Panther my whole life as a comic book. So I couldn't wait for something like that to come on TV, that I could go with my son and actually see my people not be slaves. And they say, so then I had another one tell me, oh, well, nobody went to see Black Birth of a Nation and all that. But yeah, Birth of a Nation, as great as Nate Parker is, yeah, he's still married to a white woman, right? And niggas ain't gonna see that because we tired of seeing the same story about niggas being enslaved. We tired of it. I'm tired of it. And regardless to who or what, as great as that movie might have been, I'm tired of not seeing anything happen for black people stand up to themselves to the very end of the movie. Like, I'm done with that. So now is the time for us to create a new history, a new chapter, a new way to illustrate our stories, a great way to make that happen. As many people as not supporting Black Panther, great. You want to support that because the Jews run it? What about Kwesi? What about Brother Man? What about any of the other black comics and black comic book creators and comic book characters that been out here? Black-owned comics that's out here right now. They have what they call Black Comic Con. They used to have Onyx Con. They have all of these different things for black people to create images of superheroes in their own self, in their own likeness, that's actually supported by black folk. But ain't nobody doing that. The only people that do that is the people that's into that genre. So what I want to do is expand situations in that and force our people to actually support that. So great, you can't shit on if you don't want to support Black Panther because he's owned by Stan Lee or whatever else. Y'all wasn't beefing when y'all went and saw Thor. Y'all wasn't beefing when y'all went and saw Captain America. Nobody was establishing direct flights to Wakanda to Asgard when Thor came out. But all of a sudden, I start seeing planes out in the airport, and they had a plane kiosk where they was offering flights to Wakanda. So obviously, for those people that saw the movie, as well as the commentary I did on it, we all understand that that is an ancestral place that exists somewhere in the cosmos. If we want to look at a physical place where it's at, it's all over North, Central, and South America. You got Wakanda in South Carolina. You got Wakanda, I think, in Montana. You got a Wakanda in Sri Lanka. It's all over the place. It's been here. But sometimes it takes something to allow you to notice it, and then that's when you see it everywhere. So if that's what it is, and it's in vogue now to have a nationality, it's in vogue now to be in headdress, it's in vogue now to be in habit, what are we waiting for, Moors? This is the best time for us to stand up and be what the hell we want to be. But that's not going to happen. Hold up, the pig's passing. But that's not going to happen if we're constantly trying to nitpick and find ways to not support stuff that actually have us depicted in a better light. Yeah, there was elements about it that I thought could have been a little better, or this or that, but guess what? This is the first time I've seen a movie that actually dealt with real so-called Comesian or Timorian or Egyptian concepts by which it was actually depicted by Asiatic people. I mean, there was a lot of stuff in the movie. The fact that he had a widow's peak and his father was killed shows that he was the widow's son. You understand? The fact that they were drinking the Murex, which is the purple dye that comes out of the joint. What you gotta understand is that all of this is elements that come from real things, like the Kikuyu tribe in Kenya, or the Western She people or Z people that they call the Olmecs, the Jaguar people, the Rubber people. All of this is about us. And the fact that we are still in situations where we're trying to make delineations between how we should support each other and whether or not we should do this and what we expect of these actors. These niggas is actors, man. Stop expecting these people to be exactly what you see them being in a movie. That's maladapted. That's how children think. So yes, I would love my heroes and my black actors and brothers and sisters to be out here to really depict me in a real sense. But I don't expect that. I don't expect to draw water from a stone. I don't expect people that have had to compromise themselves to just be in that position to do that. Let's give them a little leeway to be that. I don't expect Luke Cage to really live in Harlem. I don't expect that nigga to really be with a black woman. I am starting to see that the more strong and the more black and big and brawn that they put you in the movie to represent black black masculinity. You're actually the total opposite. Look at Omari Chadwick or whatever that nigga name is. Like that nigga, I mean, hey man, love who you love, but you could have done better, homie. That's just my opinion though. You know what I'm saying? But again, man, sometimes these dudes gotta go through what they gotta go through in order to create a situation for them to feel that they can actually succeed in something after they have compromised themselves. So let's give them a little bit of forgiveness. Let's give them a little leeway, man. Let's stop expecting these niggas to be something that they not. They are not revolutionaries. They are not about the upliftment of your people to the extent that we may be. They can only do it how they can do it because really they all slaves, man. They gotta do certain shit. There's certain roles they gotta take. Because if they don't, something will happen to them. They gotta put themselves in situations to sometimes be compromised. Because that's the only way they may be able to do a Birth of a Nation movie or a Black Panther movie or something that somebody else can, my child, can look up and see, oh, see, Dad, at least I see one black man that's not in a dress. At least I see one black man that's in his own archetype that want to be and see his black woman win. So again, man, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's keep it real. Let's really be about the nationality and the divinity, right? Let's really be about what we say we're about when we're about the upliftment of so-called fallen humanity, because that's us, okay? As a creator, as a writer, as an artist and all of that, I have dreams and stuff that I want to see come out. Again, thank you to everybody that's been supporting and purchasing the ebook of the Dark Skull 418. Again, I'm about to get the real colored comic book adaptation version out, as well as some figurines and toys. I'm working on the new joint, which is basically like almost like a prequel sequel at the same time to the book. Should I give him the title? Nah. Oh, nah, not yet. But I'm gonna get that out to you guys soon. Most likely after New Year, March 22nd, which is also my birthday. Big up to all of the support. Thank you for all of the kind notions. Anybody that wants to holler at me about the Imperial Farm Ministry, how we can basically start to extend that so that way we can have agencies or regencies and Imperial Farm Ministries in different communities to start to help people, so that way I can get freed up and I don't have to always be the one hands-on doing it. Like, we have to establish institutions that will allow us what we need to do as indigenous people, so that way we can be under our own vine and fig tree, and we can stop going to this cracker for everything, because at the same time that nigga tired, right? He's tired of taking care of these Negroes, so he's ready to get rid of everybody, including himself. So if that happens, there has to be something else in another society for you to get into. So the only way we're going to be able to do that is to establish our own. And to do that, we got to work collectively. So you want to holler at me, hit me up at houseofl@hotmail.com. Again, if you want to check out some of my older work, go to www.aseerthedukeoftears.com. Also, check out some of my newer stuff with classes at www.gumroad.com/ put Aseer the Duke of Tears in this search engine when you get there, and all the classes and everything will come up. Also, www.cordobaorganics.com, man. Stop fronting. We all need good, clean, organic, non-preservative, non-GMO lotions, so that way we can stop looking so damn ashy on a lot of these tapes and a lot of these movies and shit I be seeing. Holla. www.cordobaorganics.com, www.aseerthedukeoftears.com, www.gumroad.com / Aseer the Duke of Tears in the search. Peace.